fellow Americans, I stand before you not just as a patriot, but as a fellow gamer. Over the past few years, our great nation has witnessed many advances in gaming. Virtual reality has transported us to new worlds. Augmented reality has helped us not feel so bad about jerking off alone. The advances we've seen in the gaming industry has not just changed how we play games, but how we play with each other. Pause. I've been working on Way Out West. Back in March, I wanted to make a video like this, and I just haven't had enough time because I just kept adding more stuff that I wanted to show off and give like some kind of in-depth look at and review of the progress I've been making. But I'm just one guy, and also I don't do this for a living. I do it in my free time because I love doing it. This video is an attempt to cover what was about 300 gigabytes worth of screen recordings, development, goofs and gaffes, just about everything I've done in the past, give or take a year. So I have my laptop right here, and this fucking blue screen right here, and all of this. Look at all this. Can you believe it? Wow. Look at that. That's gaming. Now that's gaming. And that is bullshit. Do with that what you want.
Now, before we get into games, what I really want to do is get in the character. Let's get in the character.
Shake 'em up. Reach for the stars. Reach for the sky. Dance, partner. What the fuck am I doing? Okay, December 27th, 2023 at 2:12 p.m. This is probably one of the earliest prototypes I have, and you shoot it, it applies a force to the front of the gun, you get recoil, no animations involved in this whatsoever. You can see I've got some pretty basic semblance of bullet ballistics and that kind of stuff going on here, and it's still the implementation of bullet physics that I have going on in the current game. It's nowhere near what I'd like it to be, but for right now at least, this is totally fine. It's basically just rotating the bullet's trajectory over time, where I really would like to eventually. There is also some kind of aim down sight mechanic happening here. It's not great, because when you move left or right, it slides off center of screen, which was another problem I was running into with this kind of approach to having the gun physics-based in front of you. I had made some more progress on the physics-based interaction and how the gun is held and grabbed and moved around. At this point, I didn't have a character. I didn't have any kind of cowboy model or anything built, so there was nothing for me to actually have grab the gun. So all of this was kind of made with the intention of a temporary solution to a very permanent problem. Grabbing has been a total fucking nightmare, frustrating to no end. A lot of chaos physics stuff that has been introduced in Unreal 5.4, as well as their network physics that I'm absolutely going to be trying to use for my game. It's the same stuff that LEGO Fortnite uses in its physics gameplay that I need to so badly have in my game, but it's going to be a whole thing. So after those early prototypes of just the shooting itself, I had started working on prototyping the revolver mechanics. Stuff like the cylinder coming in and out of the gun and the hammer clicking back, as well as the trigger. As you can see here is wowee oh wowee, how satisfying is that? Very fun to look at, very fun to shoot. All of this is based on math and procedural animation. None of this is using keyframes. So I built the gun in Blender, I rigged it in Blender, I brought it into Unreal, and then I made control rigs for each piece of the gun. In the future, a gun with a cylinder that had 12 shots or 5 shots or whatever amount of shots you need in that cylinder for that particular revolver. It just does math to rotate to each hole inside the, the holes in the gun cylinder. It does the math to rotate in between each of those. Holy fuck, it's getting hot. I'm sorry, I have to take this off. God damn. this kind of month of development was just dedicated to making it feel really good and fun to reload. A big inspiration for a lot of the mechanics in the game that I'm working on is a game called Sub Rosa, made by Alex Austin. It's a really sweet game. Some of my favorite memories in gaming ever have been made during that game. You have very particular reload mechanics that are not just hit R, wait for an animation to play. Reloading in Sub Rosa is a skill that you get better and better at, and it becomes really invaluable to get really good at that when you're running, driving, shooting, in a panic, in a firefight with a bunch of other people. I didn't necessarily have the luxury of modern guns that have very simple like mag-based reloads. R will pop you in and out of reload mode. Scroll wheel will then spin the chamber, and a left mouse button will insert a bullet, and right mouse button will pull a bullet, whatever is in the current chamber, out of the cylinder. It doesn't feel clunky, like how many controls do I have to remember? Very satisfying, very fun. The hammer of the gun is actually connected to how the gun functions as well. I'm not 100% sure that this is totally accurate, so if there's anyone who is more knowledgeable on revolvers and would like to tell me very specifically how a lot of this stuff works, I haven't quite done my research into revolvers of the time period and or what this revolver would be based on, which is a gun from an unnamed game that we shall not discuss. If it looks familiar to you, you didn't fucking see it here. I made it myself. It's my original IP. Don't fucking tell a goddamn soul about what you saw in my fucking game. I made this. This is my design. Watch it, partner. Right now, it does feel really simple to get the hang of, where reloading is not remember a bunch of inventory buttons and press this way over here, press I to insert, and O to open up the revolver, and R to ram some bullets in there, and then S to suck on the barrel. Pretty much December to January working on strictly revolver animation, controls, and mechanics. All of it is done using math and a control rig that is really fucking cool. It's so powerful, and goddamn, I wish I was more knowledgeable on literally anything in life. Anyways, there's a little bit of dipping our toes into procedural animation that I got from doing the revolver and control rig, and that started to lead me down the rabbit hole of procedural animation for the character. So without further ado, I give to you Cowboy. Now, basic cowboy here happens to be white. Not because I am white, I'm Italian. There's a difference. He's sleek, he's sexy, he's jagged. He's got broad shoulders and no curves, a chest built like a Fitbit, a hip-to-waist ratio that a Victoria's Secret model would be jealous of. He's got 0 digits on his hands, because fuck you, I'm not animating fingers for all this shit. And if you couldn't tell, none of his joints are connected in any way. They're all individual, chunky little boy pieces. I want a gory Western experience. There's something real mwah when you are playing a game and you shoot a guy in the face and his head pops like a pimple. So a part of making him very specifically with this low poly disconnected design is, one, I'm not going for realism. I'm one guy making a game that's way too fucking big, and it's gonna take way too many years off my life. It has me ripping darts out in my front yard. This shit is a research, baby. I also made him a little cowboy hat because of course he needs a fucking hat. He's a cowboy. Otherwise, he's just some fucking white guy with no fucking hair. And what a fucking loser you gotta be to be a white guy with no hair. Am I right? Hey, buddy, that's you. Bald ass, chopped hairline ass, fucking stupid ass, shit, fucking Q-tip ass. A part of giving him these separated joints, besides going for like a very PlayStation 1 kind of modeling and texture quality pixel art aesthetic, is that it's way easier to chop a model up into itty bitty pieces and blow off his tiny little nuts if the model itself is disconnected pieces. So I can just hide a bone, whether that's connected to his hand or his arm or his bicep or something like that, and spawn in a new piece or a new limb. It's not really something that I'm getting too deep into. I did a few experiments. There was some basics of that working, but Unreal 5.3 was having some really strange issues at the time with chaos and hiding bones that were physics-based. So for now, I've disabled that, but I will be coming back around to that at some point. I want this game to be a fucking gory fuckfest. I need this game. I don't know if I can say that. I need this game to make a cowgirl. I definitely can't say that. Sorry, a little bit much. We're laying it on a little thick. I apologize. Too much. I realized that in implementing the character, what would make a lot more sense than me going and getting the same pre-baked Mixamo ass fucking animations was to just learn how to make a character procedurally aware of all of their surroundings and animate them fully using just math, because I am a high school graduate who got a C in geometry and a D+ in algebra 2 the first time, but the second time I graduated with a B-. So suck it. I know a little bit of math. If there's anything here that you're like, ooh, that sounded interesting, but then you ADHD'd your way right the fuck off of it, I will go ahead and make a video just for those things. Rapido question round. Procedurally animating the character. How to make him walk. Right now, the placeholder walk animation is he looks like he's got a fucking stick up his ass. It is what it is. But there's a wonderful man called Lincoln Marguson who has made several tutorials about how to make procedural walk cycles and procedural walk systems, but I've been on some other shit, so I haven't had time. I will eventually get around to making this not look so ass, because I think this is a nice time to transition into talking about very specifically the procedural character systems I've been working on. So as you can see, white guy character, not that interesting. He's generic, he's bald, he's white, who gives a shit? What if I told you he came in a variety of colors and a variety of races? Don't you want to play this all-inclusive experience? Every time you die, your character is going to be fully wiped, deleted, gonzo. Bingo, bango, bongo, he's done for. He goes in the ground forever. Each character in this game will have a procedurally generated name, appearance, and backstory. Right now, a lot of this is very simple, but it is working over the network, which is really, really cool. I'm using ChatGPT to come up with hundreds and hundreds of lists of names. What I might do is, if you're a patron, I will add your name or a name of your choosing into the procedurally generated name generator. So maybe you'll get to play as you at some point. Shout out to the 3 or 4 of you who are patrons. Your username, I cannot remember it off the top of my head. Now I know that RPGs and role-playing in multiplayer games can be a little bit difficult to kind of get into. I think it is some of the most fun in gaming, but I also understand not everyone is such a fucking nerd who wants to like come up with their own backstory and then go, now I'm gonna be fucking Billy Bob, and Billy Bob worked at the old grain mill, but Billy Bob cheated on his wife one time, so now his wife went and started sleeping with fuck it. Anyways, a part of generating the characters in my game is middle names that are kind of more like descriptors, like Deadeye. So you can be like John Sharpshooting Jacobs or something like that. Even with just a really basic character with a randomized appearance and a randomized name, it already feels like, oh, there's an attachment here that happens because I got a cool name. I can't wait to see what I can kind of get into as this character. Eventually, I'd like to have a list of like your job history and your family tree history that'll be generated for your character. You hop onto a server and you start playing and you start running into people. You don't have to make up a character. The game has made up the character for you, and you can choose to, you know, tell other people about that backstory or not. You might get the coolest name like John John Big Iron Steel, and you're gonna be like, wow, what a sick name. I gotta live up to this guy's name. And then you're gonna walk out the saloon doors. Shot in the face. John Big Iron Steel is no more. He's gone forever. Then you end up getting Keith Numbnuts Nuttington and go, wow, what a terrible fucking name. And now you have the longest life, and suddenly you've got a character and a name and memories attached to this unique identity. You also imbued it with the story and the character yourself. Giving players an easier way to kind of jump into role-playing and voice acting their characters out as they come to their natural or unnatural conclusions. That's a really big part of where I'm trying to take the game. If you don't want to roleplay and you just want to go run around in the Wild West and shoot some other people, bing bang boom, you can totally do that. It's literally just for role-playing. There's still so much I haven't talked about. I gotta go faster. With that, I'm generating color palettes for the characters, a randomized hat color and randomized skin color. Procedural walking. Hay bales aren't all that tall, so you might need to squat in case you gotta shit. Procedural crouching. Posture modifier. The very common feeling in real life of recognizing someone by the way they walk or their posture or their silhouette. You know how your best friend walks and you'd see him from a mile away and go, I know exactly who that fucking idiot is. All of this is procedurally animated, which means I can add a little bit of math or subtract a little bit of math and make these animations all slightly different, whether that's crouch heights or his leans or how close the gun is to his face when he's going to shoot it down sights, where they hold their hands higher up by their hips, lower, maybe more out in front of them, maybe they sulk a little bit, maybe they're a little barrel chested and they kind of stand up a little manly like that. I mean, you can't see my legs here, but you know, they're spread. Did some prototyping, it totally works, and I'm really excited to do some more advanced stuff with that procedural animation and how your character moves and walks. A big part of what I wanted to accomplish with this game is active ragdolls, right? The only thing I care about in life. Making little stick men go. Hey, nice moves, partner. Nice moves, partner. Partner. Nice moves. Pow, 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 pow. The layer that is now on top of all of that character animation and procedural stuff, active ragdolls and physics. Holy shit, what an absolute fucking goddamn mess it is to try and procedurally animate characters with math and then use physics to just kinda fuck the whole thing right in the... But I have a lot of the basics in, and it could be a little bit motion sickness inducing. I've been playing physics games forever. I'm very used to first-person controls from Sub Rosa and flipping and sideways turns. I know that motion sickness is probably going to be a concern for anyone playing this game. It's not something I have any plans on how to fix right now. You do have the ability to control your field of view, much like in Sub Rosa. You can scroll wheel in and out, and that will zoom you way out or way in depending on your preference. If it is very motion sickness inducing, it's not the game for you. It's not even out yet, so it's definitely not for you. Persistent multiplayer. The game is server-based, online. You have a profile that is on the server. You log in as the same character. You pick up right where you left off. Back in March, I learned how AWS works and set up an account, and I did some tests and got servers working online and was able to connect and test and play. That's something that will happen later down the line when I have some money to actually throw at it. In January, I also spent a couple weeks working with Lincoln Margison, who is the procedural animation guy, on the speed of sound and doing things at the speed of sound. Once I implemented gunshots making noise in multiplayer, I realized that I also needed to delay gunshots based on how far away someone was. And holy shit, what a rabbit hole I went down for a couple weeks.
I'm trying to move it at a constant speed. So it's working. You've got a 5-second radius around that, I think.
Yeah.
No. I think it's 100. It's a radius of 100, actually, I think. Nice.
I learned all kinds of weird, cool, experimental stuff in Metasound. It's a whole thing. It's gonna need its own video talking about it. I did a ton of stuff related to procedurally generated buildings. I didn't realize at the time that it is one of the most almost impossible things to do, and that basically no video games actually generate real procedural interiors. I've been working on this tool for a couple months that is to generate the rooms and the layouts and have them look somewhat realistic and feel like a logical, coherent space that you can navigate through. That is, I think, most of what I've been working on up to this point. Thank you so much for watching. It is free to sign up for my Patreon. Just follow it and check it out. And maybe when the game is in a better state that I can release it and you can play it and I can host a server, it'll be something that you'll get to see first and play first, and maybe I'll see you way out west.
All these bitches call me Mr. Superfly, but that's just because I'm super fly. Everything I do is always do